The new meta in Janthir Wilds of mists and monsters is absolutely great. Both bosses are very fun, engaging, and kind of a little bit difficult. So in this video, we're gonna talk about all the ways that you can, 1, make it faster, 2, make it more profitable, and 3, of course, also make them more fun. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support me, and let's get into it. So, this meta happens in this particular spot, in Janthir Sentry. There's gonna be 2 bosses spawning, that's about it. There's no pre-event. One here on the bottom, right here, near this waypoint, and another one here in Stricken Plains waypoint. Just have to walk a little bit down below, and there's the boss. Both bosses need to die at the same time in order for this meta to work. Now, it was previously bugged, and not only you had to do that, but also most of the mechanics would have to happen not at the same time, otherwise you would bug it and it would just not work anymore. But this has been fixed. Now you can absolutely just do as much damage as you can, and of course at the end see if both bosses are actually close to each other so you can actually finish them. Now, it is also important to be said that there are actual very important events that happen during this meta. There's one event here in the middle, Sanguine Crater, that gives you a mastery point here, and there's another event here on the Old Helmet site that happens here, the Wrinkled Wetlands, and the big crab also spawns around here, and all of them give you mastery. So there's gonna be some people actually going for that instead of the meta, which is completely fine. I don't think, don't feel bad if they go and do that and then come back to the meta. I think it's reasonable, and it'll only last for the first week. And also, if you need those and require those events, go get them, because maybe you didn't know that those existed right there, right? Now, before we actually go for the entirety of how to do this efficiently and better, let's talk about a few things about why you should be doing this in the first place. First of all, it gives you a very good hero choice chest. It gives you more than 1 gold, and it actually asks you to pick the following: 20 honey flowers, 20 lowland pine logs, 20 rotten titan ambers, and 20 charged titan ores. You can pick any of those, and of course also a moon edge weapon box, but do not pick this one ever. It is not going to be worth it. And Ursus Oblag. Now, we don't really know if Ursus Oblag is going to be actually something you want to get in the game for some sort of achievement, for some sort of set of weapons or armor, but right now they're not that useful. I would not pick this one in particular unless you're really missing them to get decorations or upgrades for your homestead, but that's probably not going to be the case. Now, there's something else to be said. Which of these flowers or materials should you get? Well, as you can see here in the wiki, it tells you which ones are more profitable, but this actually will change. You should go to your trading post and check which one is the most expensive one. Now, I'm not telling you to do this every time, but it's good to just keep it, just keep it in mind. Now, this doesn't seem like a lot of gold, but you're gonna be getting around 4 gold just from this every time you do the meta. And it's not a long meta, it's only around 10 to 15 minutes. So 4 gold in that amount of time is not bad at all. And we also have the Janthir Horde that you actually get, that also will give you pieces of unidentified gear, whichever quality you get. Full mono weapon that also will be sold for around 33 silver, or you can get an ecto from it by salvaging it. And the super rare skin here, and here you can see the skin is pretty nice. It's not super insane, but it's cool that it has like a little prismatic crystal in there with these little branches blooming out. I think it's very nice, and well, the only way to get this is by actually doing this meta. So I think it's pretty cool that this is how you get it, and if you see someone with it, you're gonna know that they've been doing the meta for a good amount of time, which I think is awesome. Now, there's a little trick that you can do actually, guys, in order to get better chances at getting this weapon, essentially getting 2 Janthir Hordes every time you actually kill these bosses, and opening multiple chests on both of these bosses, as they actually do spawn chests around them when they are killed. But the chest on the other side of the boss that you killed will not be available for you. But there's a little trick that you can do. And you can actually tag both of these bosses, get 2 hordes, and also get both of this chest. Now, little caveat here, sometimes this bugs out and you will have to relog in order to actually get both of these chests, but once you relog, you'll be able to open them. Now, what you want to do for this, and this is when we're gonna start actually getting into the mechanics of the fight and how you should command it. Of course, the first thing you want to do, as in every meta, is to actually spread around for boons. Get 1 quickness and 1 alacrity for each of your subgroups. This boss actually does have a DPS check, so this will make all your teammates do more DPS, and also it's gonna make you do more damage. Then obviously you want to separate each of the subgroups into one of the bosses. There's gonna be 2 bosses, so you want to get half the people in the squad for one boss and half the people of the squad for the second boss. Now, after you do this, you want for example, let's say that I am assigned into the northern boss, right? The one here, right? You want to put your personal waypoint here, because this way you're gonna be able to actually attack this boss, you know, do the entirety of the boss until like, I don't know, 50%, and then around 50%, and the commander will tell you, you will teleport back into the southern boss, making you be able to get the other horde, the other chest. And of course the people that are in the bottom should do the same thing and put their personal waypoint in before here as well, and then switch to get this boss afterwards. This will make it so everyone gets their double loot, but also the bosses die more or less at the same time. Now of course, if the bosses are actually going down in different paces, well, it's gonna be a situation where you are, as the commander, are gonna have to say, hey guys, north, slow down, we have to wait for south to actually kill it, because you do have to kill them at the same time. It is important to say also the fact that south mechanics, intermission mechanics, will be longer than the ones on north. Therefore, sometimes, even though south is actually doing, it looks like they're doing more damage, they might not actually, and north will actually catch up to them eventually. So, something to consider. Now, what are the mechanics of these bosses? Let's start with the north mechanics. The mechanics on north will be pretty simple. It's only essentially one. Other than evading the attacks that the boss throws at you, essentially it's going to be one mechanic where there's going to be a green arrow that you're going to have to stack on. The number of the people that arrow requires, it will be shown at the top, and you just need those amount of people to actually stay there. Otherwise, the boss will start getting stacks, do more damage, take less damage, and it will be very, very annoying and will make the fight harder. The problem is that eventually it will not be one arrow, it will be multiple arrows. So what you want to do is spread around the entirety of the boss. That way, if you see an arrow close to you, you will be able to get to it very fast and it will not fail. Now, you can also do, and this is what I do personally, I usually set up 4 markers, 1 in each side, and I assign subgroups to this. And usually I have 4 subgroups on north anyways, so I'm like, subgroup 1 to this marker, subgroup 2 to this marker, and so on and so on. And this will make it so all the people that are in that marker, if they see an arrow close to them, they just move together. This way they can still do damage and get their boons because they're all together, right? They will not lose boons because they're too far away. And also, it's a bit easier for people to actually see, you know, because there's a lot of arrows. There's a lot of arrows, and yeah, there's numbers that will say 1, this arrow goes first, 2, this arrow goes second, and so on and so on. But it's hard to tell on the entire in the fight while you're pressing all your buttons and you're trying to evade to see which one comes first. It's way easier if you just have a designated group for one zone. They see an arrow close to them, they move to it. Boom, easy. Mobility here is absolutely great as well in order to get to the next arrows. But hey, with this, it should be more than enough. Now, at 75% and 25%, the boss will go into an intermission phase, where you will have to CC the boss over and over again to destroy the pylons that it has. Once you do this, the boss will have to be, well, CC'd again, and then you will get automatically into your war claw. If you didn't, of course, get into your war claw. And you're gonna have to press 3 on the boss to start doing little lap arounds the boss. You're gonna see these circles of essentially like an adventure circle that you're gonna have to run through in order to tangle the boss's legs so he falls over and you can actually attack him and actually win against him, right? And make him vulnerable again. This is very, very easy. It's very, very fun. And remember, and this will apply to the south boss as well, remember to dodge mechanics. You can press dodge key on your Warclaw to dodge mechanics, as there's gonna be happening in the floor as well. You don't want your Warclaw to die. You want this to be as fast as possible so you can continue doing damage afterwards. Now for south. South is probably in a lot of ways the hardest one, because there's a lot of goop in the floor, a lot of damage in the floor. And what you want to do is completely the opposite as in north. What you want to do instead is you want to stack. Everyone should be stacking at the commander, because all of the attacks that the boss does will go towards random people. And if you stack them, you just can play it like Bone Skitter. You drop the things in one spot, move to the right or to the left, whatever, in like a clockwise or counterclockwise, and move to the safe zone. and then continuously do this over and over again until the boss is dead, right? Of course, there's certain mechanics that you're gonna be like only one spot to actually be able to be safe from the attack, but those are not that common, and overall you really don't want to get hit, because every time you get hit, all of your runes will be corrupted, and this is gonna be horrible because it will drop on your damage, it'll be doing damage to you, it'll make you more vulnerable, and if you have stability on, that stability will transform itself into fear, fearing you out, and you're gonna have to stun break or something to actually get out of that, and it's annoying. It's annoying. No, it's not nice. Do not bring stability for this one, guys. Also, it's important, a few things that you can actually bring to this fight is something like mobility. Range is pretty nice, because even if you are far away from the boss and there's all the goop on the floor, you can still do attacks. It's pretty nice. And of course, on 75% and 25%, the same mechanics that we talked about before in North will happen again in South, but we're gonna have a few added. First, there's gonna be a spread mechanic where there are gonna be different ads around the boss. For this part, you do want to spread. You want to spread around, kill all of the ads around the boss, and once they are dead, the boss will become burnable again. You're gonna have to CC the boss and break the bar, and then you're gonna have to do the war claw mechanic again. This will repeat at 25%, and well, then the boss is dead. Overall, it's a pretty simple fight, but I think it's very cool and very fun, very engaging, even though the boss doesn't even move, and I'm pretty happy with it, and I really like the fact that there's a few things that you can do to make more gold by doing this weird shenanigans of switching bosses in the middle of it. I think that's awesome. It's very, it's cool coordination that you can do and makes the fight way more interesting. In some ways, honestly, I'm kind of sad that the bug was fixed, because it made it so interesting to actually talk to the other commander and be like, yo, the boss, if you guys continue this, it's gonna bug, so you guys stop now, we're gonna go first, and then once we give you the signal, you guys can continue. Honestly, it was a very cool mechanic, and in some ways I hope they come in it brings it back in some way, not a buggy way, because it shouldn't be like, oh, you make one mistake and the entire meta fails, but it would be nice, in my opinion, if you had something like you have to get into 75% and 25% more or less at the same time, otherwise the boss recovers 10% health or something. I think that's super cool. It's super easy. You say, guys, stop on North, and then they stop and you're good, right? I think that's absolutely awesome, and that type of interaction between players is very fun and very wholesome. So I don't know, that's what I think, and of course, tell me what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support me. Go to my Twitch to watch me live. Yeah, I don't know. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye.